Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. So something a little bit different today. I've decided to set myself a 10k challenge. Now normally you would think that's running, but what I'm going to be doing is walking for about 10 kilometers today. I'm going to take a shot roughly every 500 meters. So why am I doing this? Well, firstly, because it's fun to do. Secondly, it's something a little bit different. But most importantly, I think it can really work on your skills for finding a shot. If you set yourself that limit and stick to it, you have to look for something that works once you get to that 500 meter mark or 1 kilometer or 250, whatever parameters you decide to set yourself. So I think it's a good thing to do in order to improve your photography skills. So tips for doing this kind of thing. Number one is plan the route. So I've deliberately chosen a route that gives me a mix of woodland, both this end at the start and the other end as well. I'll probably do most of my talking to camera from the woods just because it will be easier rather than in the urban settings. But as I said, in between those, there's going to be a mixed bag there of some urban, some kind of elements of nature, but planning is key. The other thing I would recommend is to, if you don't have one, is to download an app that gives you the distance that you've walked, and then you can really kind of set those limits. Now I have an Adidas running app on my phone, and I can set that for hiking so I can see exactly the distance, and that's what I'm trying to do when I'm taking these shots. Right, I think I need to turn up this area here. So as you can see, I'm now in more of an urban part of this walk, and it's time to take another shot, and this church here is going to be that shot. So just need to have a look at different angles, etc., because the sun is just poking out from above the roof, so it's not going to be ideal by any means, but I'm going to see what I can find. By the way, I'm not going to check in on every single shot that I take, because I think that would be pretty tedious from a video perspective. So I've made a creative choice here because there is a footpath that goes through the woods, and there's this road that runs parallel. So in terms of kilometers, it's going to be exactly the same, but I've chosen the road, firstly because I want to have more urban, and secondly, as I was walking towards it, we've got some really nice soft light because the sun is just above the trees. As I said, it rained heavily overnight, so as a creative choice, I've decided to walk along the road rather than walk through the woods. So I've ended up here for my next shot, which actually I quite like. It's not a shot I'd probably ordinarily take, but this is part of the fun, the challenge of doing this. It does have some advantages. It is quite an old bridge. I think it used to be a tram line above it, I'm pretty sure. But it's got some nice colour combinations. So the green, obviously for the trees, plus the red signage as well. And green and red does work pretty well. Now I could wait around, see if like a cyclist goes under that bridge through the water, but it is pretty early on Easter Monday, so the chances of that happening are pretty slim. I'm trying not to really stop and wait around for shots either. What I'm trying to do really is just walk at my normal pace and take the shot when I get there rather than spending half an hour waiting for something to happen. Again, just that's my own personal challenge on this. You may decide if you do this to do it a different way. So I've just completed the part of the walk that was 100% urban, and I need to take one shot within that part, which I've managed to do. And of course, I need to have a look on the way back as well to see what I can find. The urban is the most challenging because obviously I don't want to take anything with cars in it, ideally. The benefit of this time of the year, though, is there's some nice flowers, etc. And also I walked past one that had some nice signage. So I took that, which you've probably already seen within this video. So I've reached the halfway point. So the challenge on the way back is to look for different shots pretty much in the same location that I came in. It doesn't have to be absolutely pinpoint. Chances of me standing in exactly the same position are pretty slim, but I'm going to give myself, 1 or 2 meters extra, maybe 5 meters maximum. But the key is just to try and get something different. And so the weather conditions have changed a little bit, a bit more cloud around. So I'm going to get different lighting, and I'm going to put up the next 5 shots from my journey back, probably a little bit more of me speaking, and then the last 5 before we finish. I need to be looking for a shot in this area because it must be coming up to my 500 meters. So I'm probably stating the obvious here, but it is quite challenging and a lot harder to take shots on the way back, because obviously the obvious shots, or the shots that I spotted first, I got on the way. So as I said, I did deliberately make it hard on myself by using the same route there and back. So that's it. The 10 kilometers is done. And I've got a real mix of photos there, the good, the bad, and some of you may think the ugly as well. In fact, maybe that's what I'm going to put on the thumbnail for this video. As always, thank you for watching and see you next time.